Masculinity and traditional masculine traits, things like strength, things like being a protector, things like being a provider, these things are exceptionally important. Being a problem solver, being able to rough out the punches and to drive on and to do your best, traditionally masculine traits. Today, it's my view that masculine traits have been attacked in men. And I believe the reason for that is to weaken men and to make men more malleable to control. So I see that happening. I also see masculinity and traditionally masculine traits being promoted in women. So this idea of being a boss, you can go out there and do as much as any man and be capable. And I think to some extent that is also good. But I do see that feminine traits seem to have been enhanced and empowered in men, and feminine traits seem to have been somewhat seen as weaker and lesser in women. That to me is very odd, because then you start to look at, again, put it in the context of the programming that we all have. Men are better at being men and women are better at being women. Men have more of the masculine traits innate to them and women have more of the female traits innate to them. It doesn't mean that we can't learn from each other, and it doesn't mean that we can't use these more traditional masculine and feminine traits in ourselves. But what happens when we get to a point where men are taught that being masculine is actually far less important than being feminine, and women are taught that the masculine traits are far more important than the female traits? Then something to me starts to not add up. And I think if you look at society today, I think a lot of men will complain about women and a lot of women will complain about men without really looking at what they're being told to believe about themselves. And I see it in advertising, I see it in Netflix shows, I see it in Hollywood, I see this attack on masculinity. And males are now today often portrayed as being stupid, being lazy, being dumb, being lesser capability. And there is almost a shame attached to masculinity and traditional masculine traits that they're looked down upon. At the same time, the same traits of empowerment and strength and leadership, and you go after it and go get it, traditionally masculine traits have been put onto women and greatly increased and enhanced. That to me, I don't think is by accident. I think actually it's done by design, and I think it's to the great detriment of humanity and to all of us as people.